Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, Higher Self Tarot. This is a channel where I'm usually posting, as you all know, tarot pick a cards and the occasional astrology or spiritual video. Today we're taking a different route. This won't be like necessarily a regular thing, but I wanted to do a more personal video, talk to you all about something exciting that's going on in my personal life and kind of share my experience and my journey with you all. And if you do enjoy this type of personal video from me, make sure to let me know, hit the like button, leave a comment, because based on the engagement, I'll kind of know if this is something I should do every once in a while. But if not, I really just wanted this video as a log for myself as well, something to look back on and remember this experience, how crazy and hectic it was, but how enjoyable and dream fulfilling it was for me at the same time. All right, so as you guys could probably tell from the thumbnail, we're going to talk about my wedding dress shopping experience, which is something that has been 10 years in the making, let me tell you. I think I've mentioned this in a couple of pick a card videos, maybe in a few different piles about my wedding. I've been married it will be 10 years in March 2022, and our original wedding it was pretty hectic, okay? There wasn't a lot of time to plan, to organize. Me and my husband were really kind of stressed out and overwhelmed. So we had a very small, very intimate wedding. Like literally there was my siblings, my parents, and then my husband's host family. For those of you who don't know, he's from Brazil. We met because he was a foreign exchange student during our senior year of high school. He was living with a host family, of course, during that time. And so his host family came to the wedding, a wedding, if you want to call it. I guess it was, yeah. It kind of felt more like like whenever people go to the courthouse to get married. It was just like that, basically, but we did it at a little bed and breakfast in the city where we live instead, because I did think that setting was going to be a little prettier for photographs and stuff. Okay, so I was actually like 8 months pregnant. Let's see, got married March 23rd. My daughter, who was actually born a week late, she was born May 7th. Okay, so I don't know if that would 8 months along, right? Something like that. When we got married. And on top of that, I put on 75, 80 pounds during my pregnancy. Yeah, I went crazy on the food. So I was sticking out super far. Like I have like thin, I don't really have hips actually. I'm just very straight up and down. Okay. So the baby, Agatha, my baby, she didn't have anywhere to go except for straight out. Okay. So my stomach's out to here. Even if I was kind of at the weight I am now with being pregnant, I still don't think I would have been able to find a wedding dress to accommodate my frame. But add on top of that I had put on like 75 pounds, I could not find a wedding dress. I remember going to David's Bridal with my mom, just walked in and I was like, I'm hoping that there's something you guys could find for me. And I remember the bridal consultants just looked kind of in shock, like I don't want to disappoint her, but I don't know that we have anything that can accommodate a stomach like that. They tried to put me in a couple dresses. I left, got in the car. I was just with my mom and like broke down in tears. She was like, that's okay, we'll go to the mall. Like, so we went over to JCPenney's and Dillard's, and there was just nothing that could zip up and fit like the stomach as well. So I was about to just give up on finding a dress at all. I was like, I'm just gonna have to go to a maternity store, and they don't make fancy dresses that they sell in the maternity store. But my husband and I went to Ross one day and he found this like cottony beige maxi dress. And he's like, I know it's not white, but this could work. So I put it on, it fit. So I was like, okay, this is what we're going to have to go with. And I tried to dress it up a little bit with accessories. I went to Payless. Do you guys remember Payless? Is that still around? And my feet had like swollen out so wide. I normally wear a 7.5 shoe, but I was having to wear size 9 or 10 flip-flops at all times because I couldn't squeeze my foot in anything else. But I found some little wedge heels at Payless with a little bow on top. I love bows that were beige that matched. And I just squeezed my little feet in there. And I was like, I'm just going to have to make it work. And yeah, so for the photography, my stepmom and my sister took photos. Very simple. Looking back now, I wouldn't have done it any differently. I actually liked how small and intimate it was, how there wasn't a whole lot of planning that I had to put into it. But the one thing that I always wanted was, that beautiful wedding dress and the experience of shopping for a wedding dress even before I got married, and I still am to this day obsessed with the Say Yes to the Dress show. I even watch them on YouTube sometimes. They upload the little clips. Like, I love it. I tear up, you know, when the bride's tearing up and saying yes to a certain dress, and I get very emotionally involved in it. And I've always looked forward to, ooh, I wonder like what type of bride I'll be when I go shopping for a wedding dress. Am I going to be one of those that thinks they want one thing and get something totally different? Am I going to be one of those that has like the specific vision of what she wants and then finds it? Like, what kind of moment am I going to have? Will I be super picky? Will I fall in love with the first dress? So I've always wanted that experience and I didn't get it, but my husband and I had always said like maybe for our 5-year anniversary or a 10-year anniversary, we can do like a vow renewal and then I can have my moment. So 10 years is coming up in 2022. And with COVID and like kind of everything that has been happening, I didn't even want to pressure my husband or even ask him about like, what are we doing for our 10-year anniversary? Can we do a vow renewal? Can I go out and buy a dress? Because you guys know, I'm sure, like how hectic financially it's been for everyone. And I just didn't want to impose that on him. Like, I was totally fine with waiting until our 15-year, whatever had to happen. But my husband actually approached me out of the blue and was like, hey, are you going to go out and get a wedding dress? And I was like, for what? What are you talking about? He was like, what are you talking about? Our 10-year our 10-year wedding anniversary is coming up. I want you to go out and get a dress and for us to do something. And so I was super excited, so excited. You have no idea. And so I immediately started looking online and I just couldn't wait to have that experience. Okay, so my experience, I will say, it did not turn out the way I had pictured in my mind at all. I was surprised at every little turn, and I will say that at least for me, in my case, uh, what you watch on Say Yes to the Dress was not my experience. So there's a lot of little twists and turns in me finally being able to find my dress. But I wanted to show you guys, for a lot of the dresses I tried on, I did take photos, okay? So I kind of wanted to go through and show you some of my favorite dresses that I tried on and how I got down to the one that I ended up choosing. So I set an appointment at David's Bridal once again. And the reason I like David's Bridal is because at least where I live, there are several wedding dress stores, but I had called around and asked about like, what's you guys' price range, right? And all the other stores in my area, the price range starts at like 1,500, 2,000, and then it goes up from there. Whereas David's Bridal, and this isn't sponsored or anything, by the way, David's Bridal starts at like $100. You can find a wedding dress, and the max that they go up to is 1,800. So super inexpensive, super affordable, but they have a lot of different designs, a lot of different dresses. So I set up an appointment with David's Bridal, and it was going to be an all-girls day. My daughter was going to stay at home with my husband because I knew she'd get sick and tired of watching me try on dress after dress. And I invited my mom, both my sisters, my older sisters. I have lots of younger ones as well, but my 2 oldest sisters, and my cousin, Sydney. I invited my other cousin as well, but she couldn't make it. So yeah, I ended up, oh, and my future sister-in-law. My brother has a girlfriend who we all are obsessed with and adore. They've been together for a couple years, Capri, and so I invited her. So yeah, it was Capri, my future sister-in-law, my cousin Sydney, my sister Kaylee, my sister Tess, and my mom. So 5 of us. Okay. So we go into the store. I loved my bridal consultant. She was really nice, really helpful. And when I went in, I'd already looked at the dresses online, and I knew that I really liked the Vera Wang dresses. I liked her dresses because they weren't super traditional looking, and they all had a sort of like architectural or modern aspect to them. I guess that's the best way that I can describe it, that I seem to gravitate towards. Because I always kind of envisioned myself being like a bride that didn't wear a dress that looked like anyone else could wear it. You know, I wanted something kind of weird or kooky or gaudy, okay? I wanted a dress that wasn't going to be everybody's taste, okay? That was always what I had envisioned because that just felt very me. You know, I know that my style isn't always everyone's cup of tea or everyone's taste, but it's mine, you know? So that's kind of what I thought I would gravitate towards. So I loved the Vera Wang dresses. And so my bridal consultant grabbed a couple that I had looked at online and then mixed that in with some other styles. The other look that I thought I would go for would be like a big, like a princess gown sort of look, like a huge poof train, like classic Disney princess type of thing. So that's actually the first dress that she put me in, was this princess style dress, really cinched in my waist and just like completely poofed out. I felt like, yeah, like an actual, like I felt like Rapunzel or Sleeping Beauty, you know, when you see the princesses dancing on the dance floor and the dress is like swaying back and forth, like almost up into the air. That's what I felt like. So I was super giddy and happy and prancing around. And I'll show you guys in some of the videos that my sister took.
Addison, show us your dance move one more time.
Short though, I feel.
Oh, that was so cute.
But I didn't feel like a bride, I guess, in that dress. I felt like a princess, but I didn't feel like a bride. So the next dress I tried on was a VERA WANG dress, and it wasn't the princess style. And it looked just really cool and interesting and unique to me online. Now, my daughter, when I showed her that I had favorited this dress and wanted to try it on in the store, she flipped out on me. She was like, I will not show up to the vow renewal if you're wearing that. That looks like toilet paper or trash bags. But I wanted to try it on. Lo and behold, though, my daughter, Taurus sun, right? She's got good taste. It did not look right on me. I don't know if it's like my body shape or the fact that it was large. It was a larger dress, so they had to like pinch it in the back. But yeah, it didn't look right on me, and I was I was acting kind of goofy in it too. You know, I did a goofy little pose so my sister could take a picture of me in it. And yeah, I knew immediately that that wasn't going to be the dress. So the next dress that the consultant picked out was like an all satin ball gown. It wasn't a VERA WANG, okay? This was actually my sister Tessa's favorite. She loves like just the all satin, very simple kind of look. And I felt like the Queen of England in this dress. I really, really did love it. But for some reason there was, I don't know what it was. It felt like, I didn't feel like it, I don't know if it was that it didn't express the part of my personality that I wanted to showcase for my vow renewal. I don't know what it was, because it really was everything that I thought I wanted on paper. Big ball gown, princess sort of look. But I think I was also kind of in my head about, okay, well, what sort of venue could I pull this dress off in? Because my husband and I were not planning on doing like a huge grand ceremony, like the ceremony that we never had. We were either thinking about eloping, like let's go to Vegas, or do a cruise ship sort of wedding, or recreating our original ceremony, going back to the bed and breakfast, and doing a little small thing there, but have like some really good photographs. Part of us, like we have talked about actually going to Brazil to do the vow renewal and doing a legit wedding there so that his family could experience that. But with my husband's job and how much time off he would need to orchestrate a big event like that, it was seeming unlikely. So by the time I was at my wedding dress appointment, it seemed like, okay, I think we're going to be doing something really small again. So I think that was my hang up with the bigger, poofier dress, is that, will this look out of place? You know, will I feel out of place in it? But I did really love the dress, and I love the way it made me look, and the off the shoulder was gorgeous, and the little sash at the waist I loved. But I wanted to try on more dresses. So the next dress that I tried on looked very similar to that last one, but it didn't have the straps on the top. And the bottom of it, and you'll see in the photos, it was lined, I think, with what they call horsehair, and it's to make the bottom stiff so that you can pose it for photographs. I liked that dress as well, but I think I preferred having something on my arms, and I didn't like how stiff the bottom of it was. It felt like a lot of, like it could only look good once I got it posed. Like I would need people constantly pulling it out to pose it for me. So, the bridal consultant next put me in a dress that was actually my mom's favorite when she saw it online. Like, and Agatha, my daughter, loved this one when she saw it online. She was like, that's the dress, you know, it looks like a woodland fairy princess type thing. Like, you've got to try that on. So that was the dress I put on next. And there's actually an option to do straps, like off the shoulder straps, or just strapless, which I prefer the off the shoulder straps. So I come out in this dress and I felt gorgeous in it. It had the boning, you know, like almost like a built-in corset with it. And the color too was really pretty. I don't know if you can tell from the photographs, but it has this slight pink and purple undertone in the tulle that it's made of.
Are you gonna wear a veil?
Other dresses still.
I
wouldn't think so. I don't know. Are you not supposed to for renewal?
No, you can. You absolutely can. I just wasn't sure if a veil was your style or not.
Your boobs look cute.
Yeah, your boobs look great.
And this dress actually brought my mom to tears, and everyone in my wedding party was like, that is it. That is so pretty. I don't know if anyone else cried. I remember one of my sisters like picking on my mom, like, Mom, seriously, are you crying? But she's like, she looks so beautiful. And I felt gorgeous in it. But the dress, the only way I could explain it was it just doesn't feel like me. Like, it's making me look absolutely beautiful. I love what it's doing to my body. It's a beautiful dress even just when you look at it. Like, I would love this dress on any person, but it doesn't, something about it just doesn't feel like it says Addison. That was my only hang up with it, I guess. So my mom was kind of disappointed, but I think she thought like she'll go back to that one. So I wanted to try on more dresses. So there was this VERA WANG dress online that I knew I loved when I saw it online, and my bridal consultant had that picked out for me to try on last. I think because she knew like that was my top dress. All she had in store was like a much larger size. Like I think it was a size 12 or 14. And I'm like a size 02. So she had to really like cinch it in for me. So in the photos, you can see that there's kind of some rippling, okay, especially around the boob area, that wouldn't be there if I had bought it like in my size. So I knew that, but instantly when I put on this dress, I was like, oh my God, this feels like me. Also instantly when I came out in the dress, everyone in my wedding party was horrified and disgusted. I remember my cousin saying that it looked like it was made of toilet paper. No one liked it. They were all saying, go back to that last dress, what fairy princess dress I call it. But my mom started noticing a shift in my face, and she was like, no, she feels like Addison in this. And I just thought it was unique looking, but it looked modern, and I just loved it. I loved the halter cuts and the thick band around the waist, and even the way the organza like laid out over the dress. But I was literally the only one that loved that dress. But I loved it so much that I was like, I expected that whatever dress I got, there would be some people not liking it, because that's just, you know, I like stuff that's a little gaudy and tacky. I use those words to describe my style often. So I was like, this is the one, like, this is the one. So the wedding dress consultant, I think, was about to celebrate or whatever, but she went to look on like if she could order the dress for me, and saw that there was none left to order. And not only that, but this dress wasn't going to be made anymore. So the one I had on was like the last one available, and it was way too large for alterations to get down to my size. Like, we had the alterations manager come over, look at me, and she basically said I could recreate this dress myself because I'm in fashion school, but this whole thing, like the whole dress, would have to be scrapped, and you would just have to trust that I could recreate this, which just sounded too, you know, iffy. Like, I don't know. I didn't want to put all my trust into that. But I knew that I couldn't keep trying on dresses because nothing was going to compare to that one now. Like, I was so disappointed, so sad. So I went home from that appointment with nothing. And I thought, okay, I'll just give myself some time to wash the image of this dress out of my head, and then I'll just have to go back, you know. But I knew I couldn't do it that day. So I went into David's Bridal thinking, okay, this is it. I'm going to have my say yes to the dress experience. My mom's going to be here, my sisters, sister-in-law, cousin, and I'm going to get into the dress and just burst into tears and say yes to it, just like what happens in the TV shows. And obviously that's not what happened. And I knew that for my next appointment, I wasn't going to be able to invite everyone up again. Like, people had to ask off work. I live like an hour away from most of my family. But I was just grateful that I had that shopping experience of going into a bridal store with the people that I love, trying on several different dresses. It was something I did not get to do the first time around. And trying on dresses that made me feel good too, you know. All of them made me feel really beautiful, aside from that one VERA WANG one that my daughter hated. But I had fun. So I got the experience that I wanted. I didn't end up with the dress I wanted, but I had the experience of doing this with my family. So I went home, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll go back on the David's Bridal website and scroll through some other dresses, because there were some dresses I had favorited that I didn't get to try on because they just didn't have them at my store's location. And one of them was this Vera Wang tulle organza ball gown, and it had like what's called a peaked sweetheart neckline, like it points up like this. I'll show you photos of it. And which reminded me of, if you guys have seen the Sex and the City movies, the Vivienne Westwood gown that Sarah Jessica Parker tried on for, well, she wore it for that initial wedding with Big that he ran away from, but it also had like the peaked sweetheart neckline. So it made me think of that. And I thought, okay, I'm pretty sure after trying on enough dresses, this one will look good on me. So I know I can't try it on in store because they don't have it, but I think I feel confident to go ahead and order this one online and wait for it to arrive at my house. And if it doesn't look good on me, then, you know, I've got 7 days to return it. So I ordered the dress, and that was my dress. And at this point, I was like trying to figure out what accessories I wanted to go with and all of that. Well, every week I kept getting notified that the dress date of arrival was getting pushed back further and further. And this happened for like 4 weeks. So I called David's Bridal and asked what was going on, and found out that, guess what? They didn't have the dress. I think someone else was online probably around the same time as me, same size as me, and we pressed order around the same time. And so she got the dress and I didn't have one. They didn't have one to send me. And it was another situation where they weren't creating this dress anymore. So I was back to square one. So I was feeling so defeated at this point. I was like, this is so typical, like me, because thinking back, like on my natal chart, for example, if you look at my natal chart, I have Saturn in my 7th house of marriage, which creates restriction. Like nothing can feel quite free and free flowing. There's just a lot of restriction in that area, which is why my first wedding was the way that it was, I believe. And it's like that energy is always going to be in my chart. So I kind of knew that going into this. I braced myself for it so that I wouldn't be as disappointed. Like it's not going to go as smoothly as maybe some other people's experience with wedding dress shopping does, because look at my natal chart, it's just not going to happen. So the order got canceled, back to square one. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go back into David's Bridal, set up another appointment. This time I'm going to take my husband and my daughter because I do trust their input. I know a lot of people think it's weird to like bring the fiance or the spouse for the wedding dress shopping, but we've been married like going on 10 years and I really do trust his opinion. And if he knows my style too really, really well. So I knew that I wasn't going to get any negative feedback from him if I came out in something that I loved, and he would know that it was me. So I was like, I'm going to bring him in. So we went in one evening, tried on several more dresses. I didn't take photos of them this time because my sister last time was the one snapping photos and videos until I got down to the dress that I had decided on. Okay. So I said yes to another dress. So what is this? Dress number 3, right? I said yes to this dress. I loved the neckline of it. It wasn't poof. Like at this point, I had gone away from the poof ball gown that I initially thought I wanted. This was more straight up and down, but it wasn't a Vera Wang dress, but it did look very modern to me. The print was unique, it kind of had these tropical sort of leaves on them. And I thought, well, this will be perfect. Like if we do a cruise wedding or we go to Vegas or fly out to Florida or, because it's got that tropical summery vibe. And I just loved the way it looked on me. And my husband loved it too. And he could tell I looked comfortable in the dress. The only thing that I was kind of caught up on, well, no, there were a couple things, is, okay, I definitely cannot redo my old ceremony in this dress because the bed and breakfast we got married at, it's very vintage looking. This dress will look totally out of place there. So that's off the table. And second, this dress, it was a size 4 that I tried on, and the consultant said, well, this looks great on you except in this area because I don't have any boobs. But she still thought I should order a size 4 and just have alterations, take it in, where it needs to be fitted. So I said yes to that dress. She ordered me a size 4, but when I went home, I immediately was like, I don't know if it's just that though. I feel like that dress needs to be a little bit tighter all over. Like you can, in the back, it was kind of buckling, the fabric was, because there was just so much extra space. And then up here, and I don't know if you guys can tell like in the photograph, but there was really a lot of extra fabric up top and even over around my hip area. And in all the other dresses that I had tried on that day, it was like size 0, size 2, and this one's a size 4. But I mean, I wanted to trust the consultant, so I went ahead and let her order that for me. I went home and I was kind of in my head for a couple days about it. And I thought, I think I'm going to call Alterations and just ask what they think, like describe to them kind of how it fit me and see what they think. So I called David's Bridal Alterations, spoke to the manager. She was really kind and helpful. And she said, you know what, I really think I need to see you in the dress. Like, can you come back in the store, come back to the alterations part of the store and try it on for me? And I'll tell you, you know, what I think. So I went back to David's Bridal and I was waiting to go, like, she was busy when I got there. So I was waiting up front for quite a while for her to be available. And I started thinking, you know what, I grabbed my dress off the rack, the size 4 that I had tried on. And I looked at the designer and I thought, I'm gonna find 2 other dresses by this same designer. I don't even care what the style is, but find a size 2 and a size 0 by the same designer so that when I go back there to alterations, I'm gonna try on the smaller sizes by this designer, because in my mind, if I fit the size 2 or the size 0 really well, then that's the size I'm going to have them. I'll change my order to a size 2 or a size 0. Then I'll know, because I don't know, I just felt like it needed to fit a little tighter. So I literally just grabbed 2 random dresses off the rack. I didn't look at the style. All I was looking at is it made by the same designer as this one? So I didn't give any thought to what dresses I grabbed. So they finally let me go back to alterations, and I go ahead and I try on the size 0 dress that I'd grabbed by that designer. And I put it on and it fits like a freaking glove. And it's nothing like I would have picked out. Like when I started this wedding dress shopping experience, I always thought, I don't want anything with lace. I'm not really into lace. I like stuff that's bright and loud, and, you know, lace just seemed a little too understated and a little too traditional. But this dress was a full-on lace dress. It also wasn't poofy. It was just nothing like I would have grabbed. But I put it on and I was like, I took a video because I was like, I feel like I'm actually liking this dress even more than the one that I ordered. So I come out in it just to show her. I'm like, this is a size 0 by the same designer. And she was like, yeah, that fits you really well. And I was like, so do you think we need to order a size down in my other dress? She said, go ahead and put it on. So I put on the dress that I had already ordered in a size 4. And she brings in like some cups, like padded cups to slip into the dress. She was like, so I can sew these in. She said, but you know what? She said, this size 4 looks like it fits you to me. She said, with the cups in, there's really not much I need to do up top, and I'll take it in slightly around the hips, but honestly, this is pretty much good to go once the cups are put in. So I was like, okay, I guess so I won't change my order then. Thank you for your help. And so I drove home. And the whole way home, the only thing I was thinking about was that size 0, all lace, off the shoulder dress. I thought, oh my God, Addison, like, I get home, I talked to my daughter, I showed my daughter like the pictures. I was like, I don't know what to do. What do you think? She was like, oh my gosh, I really, really like that dress. So I was like, dang it. Okay. So I drove back to the store. I grabbed that all lace dress off the rack and I said, okay, this is the dress I'm going to buy. And I want to take this exact dress home. I'm not ordering anything anymore. I don't want any of that. So I bought the dress. I canceled my last order, which they hadn't even shipped out or anything yet, and brought that dress home. So that is the dress that I had decided on, and I was really, really excited. I felt happy. I felt at peace with it. But funnily enough, it was nothing like what I thought I had wanted going into this. And even looking at the other 3 dresses I said yes to, they all kind of have a similar vibe, I guess. Pure white, bright, modern looking. This all lace dress, it's ivory. It's not white. The lace looks very traditional wedding, and it's a dress that honestly, like, anyone could wear, I think, and anyone could look good in. Like, it doesn't have a lot of its own, nothing that's really unique about it, I guess, but that's the dress I fell in love with. So I knew once I got the dress home how I was going to make it me, because I'm big on accessories. You guys know I'm always wearing, you know, rings. I've always got bracelet, earring, necklace. Like, I'm real into accessories. So I was like, I'll make this me with even more me with the accessories, but I honestly felt great in it just by itself. So I went on Etsy. I got a big bow belt to wear at the back of the dress. I've always said I wanted a wedding dress with a big bow on it. They don't seem to make many, but luckily you can go to places like Etsy and buy a detachable bow if you want. So got a big bow to go on the back of it. I got a crown, a tiara, of course, and that gives me the princess sort of vibes that I'd always said I wanted. So maybe not in the poof, but by wearing a crown. I got a really beautiful Vivian Westwood necklace. And what I love about this necklace is, first of all, the pearls go with the lace, but also the symbol in the middle, it reminds me of Saturn, the planet Saturn, which is in my 7th house of marriage. And so I felt like not only is it a beautiful necklace, but it's got some symbolism in it for me as well. And I got some big gaudy heart-shaped pearl gold earrings. I got some really cute little gloves to wear with it that have little bows on the top. And then the shoes are so Addison. I don't know if I could find anything else that screams me more than these shoes, but they are like all gold. They've got gold flowers at the top, and then the back is like embellished in all of these gaudy, colorful, fake jewels, which works out perfectly with the dress because the dress has like a slit in the front. So I'll definitely get to like peek my heels out of that for some cute photos. So yeah, I would have had no idea that when I started my wedding dress shopping experience with what I was favoriting, what I was liking, what I had envisioned in my head, that I would have ended up at this dress. But that's what happened. I ended up being one of those brides that thought she knew what she wanted and actually had no clue. So yeah, I'm just really giddy and really happy, and I wanted to share my experience with you all. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what wedding dress was your favorite that I tried on. I'm sure all of you kind of have a different opinion because I honestly, I loved them. They were all really beautiful. It just came down to finding a dress that was available for me to freaking buy, right? And then finding one that made me feel like me. That's the best way I could describe it. I guess that was the feeling I was looking for when it came down to it. And the lace dress did it for me for whatever reason. So, well, I guess I will let you guys go here, but thanks for sitting and chit-chatting with me. I enjoyed this more sort of laid-back video style. It was nice, and I'd like to do this with you guys more often, and I can incorporate these style of videos in with the tarot pick cards, the astrology videos, whatever. So, all right, I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.